eldest sibling? The youngest? Or you're the one in the middle that doesn't really matter? Just kidding. I'm actually the eldest sibling, and I have two younger sisters. Their names are Iris and Ivy. They're 8 years younger than me, which I consider is a pretty big gap. So last year, my sisters came to me with a problem. They had to write a journal response, and the prompt was, who is your role model? I'm sure many of you have had that prompt too, and when I got this in grade 3, I didn't exactly know how to answer it. What if I didn't have a role model? What if I was too good for a role model? What if I haven't met my role model yet? And so my responses were always very generic. Martin Luther King Jr., my favorite volleyball player, and the reasoning for it was always, they did a good thing. And even though they did make significant changes in the world, those changes didn't actually resonate with me. So when my sisters came to me with that problem, I gave them an equally generic response. Write about someone who you love, who you admire, who you look up to be like. And when they came back with that journal response, I realized that they had written about me. Now the first thing they wrote was, my elder sister Juliet is my role model. I admire her because she buys me bubble tea every day. So I'm officially the best sister in the world. But by the end of the journal, they had written this. I want to be like my older sister. And that was when I realized that I was actually making a significant impact in someone else's life. Every action around the household, every word I said, was subconsciously being documented in their minds. They copied my eating habits, my wardrobe, and they'll never forget the first time that I said the S word. So, this makes me want to pop the big question. Why do others' thoughts of us matter? Now you might argue that the answer is quite obvious. We have a certain image we want to maintain around other people. And in this world, there are certain expectations that we have to meet up to. But it can get a little bit more complex than that. I once read a book by Gretchen Rubin called Better Than Before. And in this book, she categorized expectations into two: inner expectations and outer expectations. Outer expectations are the ones that others expect of you, like that school project deadline or abiding by the law. And inner expectations are the ones that you expect of yourself, like that New Year's resolution of trying to eat healthier. Some of us will try to meet both type at the same amount, and hats off to you if you're able to do that. But most of us will try to meet outer expectations more because we care more about what other people think of us. Contrastingly, you might prioritize yourself over others, or you might just not care about either type at all. But either way, we must admit that expectations are important to us. You might try to achieve high marks because that's what's expected of getting into that comp sci program. Or you might go on a diet because that's what's expected of getting fit. Or you might console a friend, even though you have 2 tests the next day, because that's what's expected of a good friend. And for me, I was conscious of every little thing I did around my sisters because that's what was expected of being a good sister. So I want to illustrate this a little bit more with this new habit that I tried a long, long time ago, bullet journaling. Now, for those of you who don't know, it's essentially a very sophisticated and advanced planner known for its aesthetic design. And I tried to do this, but when I did start, I realized that A, I am no artist, and B, it was very time consuming. But this idea of planning things and writing them down was very appealing to me. But you know that feeling when you're tired, you had a long day, and it's 3 days, and this planner's been updated 3 days ago, and you have a big test tomorrow that you forgot. And eventually, this became a problem for me, because I realized if I can't even stay on top of a 5-minute planning task every day, how was I going to do anything else? But a solution sent itself to my doorstep. My sisters were entering grade 4, and I decided to introduce this concept to them, just for fun. I told them, this is very important. You have to stay on top of it. It will keep your life very organized, and I was also definitely staying on top of this task. But I was caught by surprise when I realized that 2 weeks later, they had been keeping up with this planner. And that resonated with me so much. I realized that they were doing this because of me. They were doing this because of me, which is why I had an obligation. This idea of obligation and expectation plays a huge role in our lives. Initially, I tried to do this planner for myself because it would keep my life more organized. But whether I did it or not didn't affect anybody else. But by getting my sisters to start planning with me, I turned this task from an inner expectation into an outer expectation. And this doesn't only apply to me being a good role model to my sisters, it applies to every single one of you. I want you to think right now of a goal that you've been trying to achieve, but it's kind of just been sitting in the back of your mind and you never really took the first step to do it. Now ask yourself, why? I'm sure there are many, many reasons, but I can bet you that one of the main reasons is that there is no external factor pushing you. There's no deadline for it, no one's talking to you about it, nobody knows about it, so you really don't need to start. But now you know how to fix that problem. Because all you have to do is to get someone else involved in the process so that you are able to take that first step and stay committed. For example, we all know that New Year's resolutions are hard to keep, but that's because you're in it alone. If you get a good friend to push you, you'll do the same for them. Think about what you want others to learn from you. Instead of looking up at someone, looking for a role model, envision yourself as a role model to other people. So this is the takeaway I want you to have from my speech today. What impact do you have in someone else's life? Thank you.